bow our heads in prayer. Remember not, O God, our sins against us, and record them not in your book, but cast them into the depth of the sea, and remember them no more forever. Impute to us the obedience of your Son, who fulfilled all righteousness for us, and gave himself as a sacrifice for our sins. Let us live for his sake, and enable us to walk worthy of our calling. Amen. Dear brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, God's word that's before us this morning is a psalm that we sung this morning, Psalm 85. I think these words that we sang this morning and that are for our meditation really are applicable for us at this time of the year, because as we approach Christmas and as we live during the holiday season, this time of the year is a difficult time of coping for many people in the world today. And even many people in our church, probably people that you know and maybe even you yourself. People, there are many that dread the holiday season, the season of Christmas. And that reason of dread might be different for many. Some dread the season because there are people that they think that will be missing, that they think that, okay, it's not going to be that great because I'm going to miss this individual or these people so much. And then maybe there are some that dread the season because of people that are going to be there. Maybe it's some type of personal strife or disagreement between those people, and they just don't want to get together and have that type of tension and strife. Sometimes there are other reasons as well, and the list can just go on and on and on. And it's really, sometimes for some, it's hard to comprehend that this season is difficult for some because it's so happy for them. Psalm 85, the Lord gives us a prayer of restoration. This psalm was written by some men called the sons of Korah. And as we look at the first few verses of our text, it starts out, you showed favor to your land, O Lord. You restored Jacob. You removed the guilt of your people. You covered all their sin. Here, when it says you restored Jacob, there are many that think that this psalm refers to God restoring his people from captivity. Whether it was captivity in Egypt, or whether it was something later on that where God restored his people from captivity in the land of Assyria. Some people think there was an earlier date, some think there was later. And really, there's nothing in the text that can really pinpoint to which one it was actually talking about. But when I think about the author, the sons of Korah, I see maybe here a possibility of something else why this psalm was written as well. Korah was one of the early children of Israel. He and his sons were appointed by Moses to be really the doorkeepers of the temple, of the tabernacle. They were the ones who did all of the menial labor in that place of worship. And we're told in the books of Exodus and Leviticus that there was a time when Korah was kind of dissatisfied with all of the influence that Moses and his brother Aaron had with the worship of the people. Aaron was the high priest in the charge of the temple. He and his sons took care of all of the sacrifices. Moses was the leader of God's people, the prophet, and it seemed to him that they had too much influence among God's people and maybe were usurping too much power. And so Korah started to complain, and he got some of the people riled up. And so God called all of his people together, and Korah voiced his displeasure. Moses, we're told, fell on his face, and then Korah and his sons, many of his family that there were with him, were consumed by fire. Then after this, it seemed like things had settled down. And the next day, God's people again seemed to be dissatisfied with God's wrath and what was going on. And those who were still complaining were swallowed up in the ground, they in their tents. And all of their families, there were something like 17,000 people that died in that one as well. But there was a remnant of Korah's family that was left. And they wrote a few of the Psalms. And so I can't help but think to myself that maybe there was a little bit of their past that they were thinking about as they wrote this psalm. Some of the things, the dissatisfaction of their family, maybe even possibly the stigma that went along with their family because of what happened in the past. They were appreciative of God restoring and sparing some of their family because they did serve faithfully in the temple. But they knew because of sin, God needed to restore them. They knew that their sin separated them from God. They knew that they needed to live a life of repentance. Listen again to their words, to the words that they had written. You removed the guilt of your people. You covered all of their sin. You put away all your wrath. You turned from your burning anger. Restore us, O God, who saves us. Put an end to your indignation with us. Will you be angry with us forever? Will you extend your anger through all generations? Will you not turn and revive us so that your people may rejoice in you? Sin can be, and it is, a terrible thing. Sin is a thing that not only separates us from our Creator, that separates us from our loving, almighty God, but it's something that affects our relationship. It affects the way that we think. Separation from God is not a good thing. And without being restored, without being brought together with our Lord again, there's only one destination. There's only one possibility, and that's hell. Dissatisfaction, loneliness, despair, worry, dissatisfaction, a miserable life. And it's sin sometimes during the holidays that ruins the holidays for us and for many. Whether it's our sinful natures that give us a bad attitude, whether it's the cost of sin that divides relationships between people, whether it's our selfishness, whether it's the selfishness of somebody else. When we hear that blessed message of the season, peace on earth, goodwill toward men, that peace, that satisfaction, that joy to the world can only come from one place. Our psalmists tell us that as well. Show us your mercy, O Lord. Give us your salvation. I will hear what the true God, the Lord, will say. He indeed speaks peace to his people, to his favored ones. Surely his salvation is near for those who fear him. And then some of the most beautiful words of this psalm, a very picturesque phrase. Mercy and truth meet together. Righteousness and peace kiss each other. Try to picture that in your mind, if you will, really as the writers here personify some abstract thoughts, try to make them concrete. A picture of mercy and truth, God's mercy that he has upon us. His truth, the truth that's revealed in his word, meet together. Righteousness, that innocent verdict, and that peace that comes from salvation, meet together. Martin Luther said this in his commentary about Psalm 85. He said, these things happen, that mercy and truth and righteousness and peace meet together and kiss each other at the cross. That's what our whole life is about. That's what this season is about as well. God's righteousness and peace meet together at the cross. God sent his Son into this world so that sin might be removed, that it might be paid for, and that God, because of Christ's righteousness, can forgive the whole world. All sin has been paid for. And it's because of that that we have joy, the joy of salvation. It's because of that that we have peace, peace of mind, peace because sin no longer haunts us, because an angry God is no longer there wanting to take us to hell, to send us there. That's what this is all about. The forgiveness of sins that come along with Jesus. It's so easy to look at this time of year as we prepare for Christmas. We look at our family gatherings, we look at the gift giving, and it's easy to look at those things with dread. Maybe we even get caught up in our plans and think if something goes wrong, it could ruin the whole thing. But when we get misdirected like that, we really lose our focus. We really are not looking where we need to be looking. And that's not only at the manger at Bethlehem, it's also the cross of Christ. That's the reason that God sent his Son in the first place. Mercy and truth meet together. Righteousness and peace kiss each other. Righteousness walks in front of us. It prepares the way for our footsteps. What a beautiful promise that is. And it's only that promise, only that reality that's found in our Savior that prepares us for Christmas. But it's the only reality that makes that season a success, a joy. It's the only thing that can give us peace. As we prepare, may God move us to see our sins. Most importantly, may he hold up that forgiveness in Christ before us always as we rejoice in the greatest celebration ever. The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds through faith in Christ Jesus. Amen.